Welcome to the How to Hustle podcast, brought to you by Blockspace, your creative agency. That's BLOXSPACE.co. That's BLOXSPACE.co. Blockspace.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's edition of the How to Hustle podcast. I'm one of your co-hosts, Rowan, and I'm joined by Miss Jasmine and Joe the Boss with me this week. How you guys doing?
What up, guys?
What up?
Awesome. Well, this week, our topic is why your hustle is failing.
Why your side hustle's failing.
Why your side hustle is failing. Why is your side hustle failing? Jasmine, start us off.
Well, I mean, it could be failing for many of reasons. First of all, it might not be a side hustle. You might be having a side job thinking that it's going to work for you in a different way, and it's just not going to happen like that.
It's true. It's always something to keep in mind. We got to keep those two things separate, hustles and jobs. Joe, you've got quite a few hustles. I'd almost call you a hustle maniac, a phobia of settling down on one idea.
Well, when you come...
A serial hustler.
Yeah, because I tell myself I'm a serial entrepreneur, but... hustler, because you know what it is, and this is where I'm trying to change too. We can't hustle for money. That can't be the object of the game, because the money will come and go, but it's not the object. The object is freedom. That's what everybody's side hustle is about.
Like we talked
being
about last week.
Financial free, because for me, I come from I was very poor. I couldn't even spell poor. I was po, right? I was so po that my hustle is what sustains me, financially, of course. But I'm realizing as I'm maturing in my years, it can't be about that. It has to be about your passion. So the number one question is why you're failing is because you're not doing your passion. You got to find out what your passion is. Everybody can do jobs that are mechanical. I'm going to cook. I'm working for McDonald's. I'm going to cook the burger this way. I'm going to do the fries this way. Everything's, planned out, structured.
Manufactured.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But if you want to make real money for a side hustle, it has to be a passive income money. Money you're making when you're sleeping. That's
right.
Passive income, right?
Yeah.
So that's our goal, is the freedom aspect of it. We need the money to get there. But what I'm finding out in my years is that I'm chasing the dollar, and the dollar's just going faster and faster and faster.
It's true. And
so I get exhausted. I get frustrated. I'm like beating myself up. Why isn't this working? Why isn't that working? It's all because of that. It can't be about the money. It has to be about what is in your heart. What's your passion? What do you want to do with your life?
Yeah. They say, find something, work in a field of passion. It's like you didn't work a day in your life.
You don't work, right? When I'm creating, I'm not working. I love creating. I love coming up with ideas, and that's my safe place, right? Because I live in my mind, and that's a lot of big problems too, because I'm starting to learn that I have to get stuff out of my head to my team for us to grow.
Right.
Yeah, no, I think what you're talking about, it's completely money focused when people think about starting a side hustle. They think about it, and they're thinking about that side income. So they often pick what they think is the quickest and easiest thing to get started on, that's going to bring them the money the fastest.
Yeah.
When they make those decisions, you're not necessarily thinking about if you're actually going to like doing what you're doing. You're just thinking about the money it's going to bring you. But then it happens where the money doesn't come in because you chose an oversaturated market, or your product's not as good as you thought it was, or it went out of fashion. And when that money's not there, you lose what you're chasing.
Yeah.
When there's no money, you lose your interest. You don't want to put any more effort into the business, even if you've already put over 200 hours in. You're just done because the money's not there. But let's say, Jasmine, what's one of your passions?
I like to create things.
I know you like drawing, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's say you start up this side hustle business where you're painting these beautiful, abstract, modern art paintings.
Okay, cool.
But you actually hate modern art. Let's pretend that. But people just love it. It's what's on the market. It's what's hot right now. And you start selling paintings. And then all of a sudden, no one likes modern art anymore. Everyone wants beautiful eye drawings. But you can't do that. Let's just say that's out of your ability.
Yeah.
No one wants to buy your modern art anymore. So you're done.
Yeah.
Because there's no money in it.
Yeah.
But if you had passion, you would keep doing that art. You would keep doing it because it's what you like to do. And then the money would come back to you because people would see how beautiful your things are, even though you went up really fast and then you dropped down.
Right.
If you still have that passion, people are going to see that. They're going to feel it, and they're going to it's going to be so present in your work.
Yeah.
They can't not have it.
Well, I mean, just a good way to explain that, I would think, is like in sales. I work a lot in sales, right? And if I come up to someone and I'm trying to sell them something and I'm like, don't really know much about the product, or I don't, I don't care much about it, like, yeah, Joe has started this thing and I'm selling it. I don't really know what it's about, but he told me to go out and sell it, so
Sounds
I'm doing it. Yeah, something like that. No one's going to jump on that train. Like, no one's going to do that. But if I'm going and I'm like, check this out, it's sick. I know there's something else that looks similar, but it's not because it's this and
You
this
sound
is
so
dope.
believable.
Right, yeah, like I don't even know what I'm talking
passion.
about, but
Yeah.
you kind of want to buy it a little bit.
Exactly. No, it's like I was at this convention type thing, and there was these water bottles. They were plain old water bottles, just reusable water bottles. But the way this guy pitched it to me, he was so passionate about his company, about his brand, about what he was saying. I dropped $20 on a water bottle.
Well, there you go. There you go, exactly. And that's, what you want to be when you're in a hustle and you're making a hustle work. You've got to be passionate. Yeah, you've got to believe that people want it in order for people to want it. Otherwise, it's not going to happen. Joe, you talk a lot about putting it into the universe and getting what you want out of that. And I think that's the idea. You got to be passionate enough. You got to want it. You got to put it out there, and then it'll happen.
Yeah, the thing with me now, what I'm learning as a mature, because it's funny, I'm like a late boomer now. I'm like starting to mature in a different way. And
Like in the last 2 weeks?
the last 6 months,
How
I mean,
old are you, Joe?
I ain't going to speak it, but the last 6 months have been, really eye-opening. It's like God's given me an opportunity to really look at my life and examine, okay, where are you at today? Where do you want to be? Because every time I could tell you this, okay, and I'm not boasting, but say $1 million has come through my hands, okay? In that $1 million, I did not do my full passion. I did not, I was running after dollars, right? So through that process, I had to learn, like, okay, why am I not fulfilled? Why am I struggling, and go from that place and then figure it out. It's like, I don't want to say going backwards, but you're trying to look at everything to say, okay, I like doing this. I like doing this. Like now you're talking about you made some clothes. Now you're talking about making a couch. Well, that might turn into designer. You're going to school for marketing.
Yeah.
But who knows? All your books you're writing, the creativeness of you, if you stick to that and push on it, remember that there's 8 hours, right? Remember we talked about that. 8 hours of sleep, 8 hours to work, 8 hours free time. What are we doing those 8 hours? If you put that kind of energy between it and you purpose it in your heart, because that's where the passion comes from. That's where I was going with it, because I lost it. $1 million come through my hand. Every time I just purposed my heart towards a project and the money came. Because I knew I was excited about the idea and I put everything I had into it.
And it just makes people, it makes people who want to buy the product. It makes people who want to invest in the product. It makes people who want to work with you to sell the product more passionate. Like if I come into
They're
work,
investing in you.
Right,
Like when you guys are
exactly.
cold calling people, it's really, look, I want to be your friend. You don't know me, but I want you to know what I offer so that I can be there for you. If we treat every client that way, they're going to see us not as selling, hustling. They're going to see us as a friend that offers resources.
Right, yeah.
So when you see me talk, a lot of times I start out with family. Hey, family, how you doing? It's a street thing, but a lot of people are receptive to it because I'm just calling them family. You know what I'm saying?
Unless they're really not. One time I called this lady, I think I called her friend, because I say, hey friend, all the time.
Yep.
And she was like, excuse me, young lady, you can't talk to people like that. And I was like, what?
Totally had that before, yeah.
Yeah, you have something
saying
stuck.
right
Yeah,
now?
she's got something stuck.
She
She's
needs
stuck
to
somewhere.
align her Strachnas or
Yeah,
whatever. What
you
are
know.
they called?
I don't know.
Anyway. Well, okay, I want to move on to the another thought I had on why your hustle might be failing. My thought on this one is you don't have enough clarity. You're not taking a look at the bigger picture. You're not de-stressing long enough to be able to look at the situation
Meditating.
and really see what's working and what's not working.
Yep.
Because there's passion. Step one, you got to have something you're passionate for. And then after that, you got to have a mission, goals.
You gotta have a path.
Yeah, and you got to have an outline. You know what I mean? That's what I do before I do any of my projects, or even before I go into an email or a phone call with a client. I'll sit down and I'll kind of outline just a couple notes of what I want to do, and that's the bigger picture idea.
Yeah, I've got a great example of this.
Perfect.
My boyfriend wanted to build a raised garden bed.
Okay, love it.
So he gets these pallets, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't have a plan about how he's going to build it. So he just starts cutting up these pallets, and he makes all these little boards.
He has too many little boards.
And then he realizes that he used all the wood to make little boards, and he has no long boards or anything strong to actually make the base and the legs of this raised garden bed out of. But he's already out of wood. He's out of supplies.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't have a plan. He just jumped feet first into it.
Yeah.
And it failed.
He was passionate about it, which is amazing.
But the failing,
you gotta have clarity.
That's what I'm saying. The clarity and the failing, because the biggest thing about startups. Listen, the biggest thing about startups is we're gonna all fail, but it's how we deal with the failure and move on. You know, that's one thing that I know my kids could say. I always swing for the fences. I may not hit the home run. I may only get to first base, but at least I'm swinging every time out the gate. They can't say I quit. They can't say that I ran away. They can't say any of those things. I may not be the most successful entrepreneur, but I'm working towards it.
See, but, let's talk about where your lack of major success is coming from, right? Like, you have the passion. You got that down. I mean, working with you, I get passion from you just off of your energy some days. But
on good days.
On good days.
Coffee.
But then one thing that I think, I don't even boast my own horn or anything like that, but I think I bring clarity to you in a way that I can kind of zone in the picture.
Both you guys do.
Yeah, exactly.
No, you guys balance me very well, and that's why I'm excited to have you guys, and I want to keep you guys.
And that's why
I'm gonna bribe you guys. That's my future. I'm bribing you guys to stick with me.
All right.
But ultimately,
you need both components. You need passion,
but
and
you
you
understand,
need clarity.
This is what I'm trying to tell you about purposing my heart. I purposed my heart for you guys.
Yeah.
That's where I was. I was like, Lord, these are the things that I need.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you guys came in. Nobody else came. You guys came.
Right.
We had one little guy, and the reason why I invested in him was because he knew about cryptocurrencies.
Yeah.
Right? So that's the only reason. But he was the biggest flake. He couldn't remember his name half the time. But we love him, right? We just love him, and we
know who you are.
I just
also we miss you a little bit.
Yeah, and honestly, if I had the money, I would probably just keep him along just to be my right hand guy, just to go get her.
He was fun.
Gopher. You know what I'm saying?
He was fun for sure.
Yeah, definitely. But where I was is I needed somebody to keep me on point, and that wasn't his skill.
Yeah,
but I did give him the opportunity. I did love on him. I even gave him extra money when I let him go. So. Those are tough things.
Can you let me go?
What you talking?
All right, but anyways,
Severance
yesterday, you all got Severance Joe. As long as Joe's around, you got it. Why our side hustles is failing? The number one yesterday, because me and Ro talked about it, was time management. Oh. So from your 2 points, right, passion, and what was the next one? Clarity, then time management.
It's in the in between. It connects the two.
It does because if we're not coming in driven at that moment. So say for me, my mornings are putting out fires, answering emails, and taking care of everybody. Then 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock rolls around. I'm able to actually focus on what I need to get done for that day.
Right.
5:30, 6 o'clock, I'm ready to quit and move on. Depends on what day. Like today's going to be a late day because I have a lot of stuff going on. So I'm sticking with it. But you got to have that plan to go through. And I'm terrible at planning.
Oh, I got
because I live in my head.
True.
So I forget dates. I forget what you said.
To eat lunch.
I forget to eat lunch. Exactly. And then
or you forget if you ate lunch.
Yeah. And then I'm wondering, why am I so tired? Well, your body didn't have no fuel. So, it's ups and downs. As a serial entrepreneur, it's ups and downs.
I'm telling you, man, you got to make yourself one of those pretty pink journals like I've got.
I'm doing it. I'm doing it this weekend. I got this, and I carry it with me, and I just haven't took time to stop.
Take the time and just map it out.
Write it down. And Joe,
I
know what one of your other reasons why your side hustle is failing. And this applies probably to a lot of people. Yeah. It's your perfectionism.
Oh, yeah.
Because you have a job to create one logo. That should take probably, 30 minutes, an hour. You give it some thought beforehand, then you sit down and you do it. But here we are. It's 9 a.m. in the morning. You sit down, you open Photoshop, you got some shapes, and then about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you've got a completely different set of shapes, whole different color scheme, but it's the same logo. And you spend 6 hours on this logo. You're only getting paid, a little bit of money to do, and that's poor time management because you're a perfectionist.
Yeah, that's 100% is true.
For our clients listening out there, we do good work because of that.
Because we want you to be successful.
Yeah.
That's my number one goal, is that if I'm not bringing value to you, then I shouldn't be in your area.
But
I shouldn't be with your team.
Okay, so my dad's a consultant. He's a business consultant, and I talk to him a lot about personal branding because he sells himself, right? Mm-hmm. And you as an entrepreneur are the same. You sell yourself and you sell your idea, especially before it gets, big.
Yep.
And that's the thing that you have to, to make money and to make, the side hustle happen, you can't be spending time. That time is all you have to give. And you can't be spending time in a place that's not actually valuable.
No.
And that's where the time management comes in.
And you can't keep throwing money at something that's not working.
Yeah, that's why you have to have clarity.
You got to have clarity. You got to have a plan.
Like our roadmap. We have this beautiful roadmap that was supposed to be completed by Q3 2019.
You know what I'm saying?
I think we're still back in 2017. That's time management.
Yeah, it's time management. It's and the stuff we're trying to. This is the perfect example. When you're trying to reach for the skies, there's always going to be changes. You got to be fluid. That's another number one thing about hustle, too, is that you got to be fluid with it, because some situations you're just going to have to roll with the punches till you get to the place you need to be. Mm-hmm. But the eye on the prize is always what's driving you forward.
Okay, so on that note right there, eye on the prize. There's one more thing that I'd like to point out, and that's the difference between goals and a mission, which are both important, I believe. The eye on the prize is the mission, right? That's the end goal, what you want to have accomplished with this side hustle, what you think it can do. And then your goals are the stepping stones to get you there. How many stairs is it going to take you to get there? And what are those stairs that are going to get you to the top, where you want to be? And that takes clarity, time management, and passion to be able to figure out what those look like for you and how those are actually going to work. But having those, I think, is really important, and not having them will certainly fail your hustle.
100,000%.
Mm-hmm. Those goals are the little stepping stones.
Yeah, because I never looked at it. I always just thought in my brain, because I have dyslexia, so for my brain, both of those are the same, and they're different. Just the way you explained it.
Yeah,
I get it. And I think everybody should get it.
Good.
You gotta have a mission. So, when I wake up in the morning, this is gonna kind of
your mission is to go back to bed at night.
That is exactly it. That is exactly what I was gonna say. But in order to get back into my lovely bed with my cat and just get all snuggly, I have all these goals that I have to obtain first. I have to get up. I gotta go to work.
You gotta make breakfast.
I gotta clean the house.
Gotta take your vitamins.
Gotta take the vitamins. Gotta, go to the grocery store. Gotta go to school. God,
gotta work.
So much. There's so much to do, and I have to obtain all these little micro goals.
Yep.
That end up getting me my mission complete.
Back to bed at night.
Back to bed. And then you do it all the next day. Welcome to 2019, people. But they're completely different, and people get them confused. And even when you're in a business type world, if you are out there, people give you their white papers or their business plans, and even they get it confused.
Yeah, absolutely.
They have a mission statement, but their mission statement isn't really a mission.
It's a goal.
It's a goal.
A smaller goal. A mission statement is the overall idea of what is going to happen from your company. And okay, so I'm making this children's book, right? My mission with the children's book is to have a completed product. That's pretty much my only goal, right? And the little steps to get there along the way are what actually is going to happen. And if I don't do those, then the mission won't happen. And if I only focus on the mission, then the goals individually won't happen, and we won't actually get to the end of the mission, because it's not the big picture idea. It's not the roadmap that you need.
Yeah.
So the mission is the what drives the
Yeah. It's like a thesis statement of a paper, or the title of a book.
Yeah.
If it's that descriptive.
Well, the other thing that you should know, that once you become an author too, and that's what I'm talking to Ro as well, is that people look at you differently and it could also get you speaking gigs and interviews and all that good stuff when you become an author. So a lot of marketing people use that, create a book, even though it's just on Amazon.
Yeah.
Right? It gets them gigs.
Yeah.
It gets them paying gigs. It gets them to come if people like it, and it gets you to get out there and market yourself. It's just another tool that you should have in your toolbox if you want to be in the public eye. Some people don't want to be in the public eye. They want to work for the man for 30 years, get the gold watch, and retirement be done.
I have a question. I don't know if you have an answer to this, but okay, so you just kind of laid it out, right? Like either you're in the public eye or you work for the man. Are those mutually exclusive, or can you have one without the other? Can I be a millionaire and not work for someone else and not be in the public eye?
Yes.
It's
How?
rare,
You
though.
create a product. No, it's not rare. There's a lot of people. I mean, there's so many billionaires out there that you don't know who they are.
Right.
I don't know what companies they are, but if you go and research them, you might find out.
Yeah, but you're still
But aren't
gonna-
those
see what I'm
guys?
saying?
Aren't those big guys like that? Aren't they just investors, behind the scenes investors?
usually.
No,
Yeah.
it just depends. But I know people that have started companies with like us three. We're working for Blockspace. In 1 year, it turned into a $10 million company. By the third year, it was $1 billion. So it's. Are they in the public eye? No, they made some software that's selling and people are using it. It's the same thing as what is it called? The storage. We got storage. Tell me all the online storage places. Not Google, like
Dropbox.
Yeah, Dropbox. So the CEO of Dropbox, the only reason why you know who he is now is because he's in the commercials. But when he created it and they went public, you didn't know who he was.
Yeah, that's tech.
I mean, unless you're in,
Yeah.
if you're in Tech Church, what is it called? There's Tech Church, techchurch.com, I think it is. That's where they do the startups and stuff, and they always do that stuff. They're the only ones who would write a story about it,
Okay.
because it's a tech thing, right?
I guess.
So they live in Silicon Valley. Anything birthing from that or San Francisco area,
They write about.
They write about it. So they would say,
So-
CEO of such and such, they just plan to go public.
Yeah.
Here's their offering. That's it. But yeah, you can do stuff. I guarantee you there's millionaires here in Lebanon that you don't know who they are.
I think I do.
The guy,
yeah, I was gonna say,
listen,
some
the
farmers.
guy that owns this building owned the company, right? He's got to be worth $3-4 million.
Yeah.
He owns the store across the street. He owns half this block.
See,
Well, how you're talking about money
Yeah.
there doesn't actually mean it's not like disposable income.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is
No,
you're
but
making
it's
it sound
still-
a little fantasy-like.
Yeah, yeah,
because
but
$1
you-
million really isn't that much.
No.
No,
money.
It's
if you
not.
if you're a millionaire, you don't have $1 million to go spend.
No, you
No.
don't have $1 million of cash. I'm talking about net worth on paper.
It
Right,
means you
yeah.
can go out and eat and not probably feel guilty about spending.
Or, like, you could-
vacations
yeah.
3 times a year.
Or like you can go to dinner and be
Yeah.
like, "I'll pick it up, guys."
Yeah, or
exactly.
let's get that nice bottle of wine instead
Yeah.
of the
Yeah.
one that just says wine.
Well,
Maybe it says low on there
One
too.
of the teachings, the millionaire mindset. There's a mindset to wealth.
Right. Yeah.
And so everybody, if you look at how much money, a perfect example for you guys. What's the most you made in a year?
I don't want to answer that.
Okay, I understand. So just say I made
The
$5,000.
IRS is listening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna say I made $5,000 a year, right?
Oh yeah.
So for the last
5,000?
3 years, I made $5,000 each.
Okay.
That's my thermostat because I'm not able to break past the $5,000 mark.
And you know why that is?
Yeah, because it's a millionaire mindset. It's a mindset of your, like you said, your mission, your vision, all that stuff goes together. But literally, your thermostat is brought by your parents, right? Because they raised you. So what are your parents' thermostats? How much they make per year?
What do you
and
mean
it
by
hasn't changed.
thermostat?
You have an internal thermostat to wealth. Okay, there's
Like a
internal
capacity?
capacity that you've put that for some reason you're not breaking through. If your parents said
Mental block.
mental block, here's a perfect example. You asked me for $5. What do you think? We're millionaires or something? What's wrong with you? Or the other side of it is, oh, look at these people investing and stuff. They're crooks. What was said in your familyhood? I mean, your family and raising you. What
Familyhood.
has been? You know what I'm saying?
That's gonna be.
What
a
is the
bumper sticker.
language has been around since you were a child that you heard? We don't have enough. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
Money
okay. I
doesn't
hear
grow on
you, for
trees.
sure.
Money doesn't grow on trees.
Or there's the opposite problem where you grow up with a rich family and then all of a sudden you don't have that anymore, but you still keep buying all these miscellaneous
you're living out of your you're living out of your means.
That's definitely me sometimes. Like my family had a lot of money growing up. I'm not going to be shy about that. We lost it all. I'm not going to tell how. But then, like, I still go to the store, and I'm, like, walking by this clearance rack, and I see this beautiful little, statue thing. And it's on clearance for $70. I'm like, oh, my God, it's only $70. I gotta get that.
Oh.
And then I realize I don't have $70, but I still take it to checkout thinking I can afford it. Like, it's definitely a mindset that you're kind of taught when you're growing up.
And that's what I'm saying. And so, is your dad retired now? No, so he's still working?
Yeah, he's 68 and working. Thank you, Dad, for being such a great
Shout
dad.
out,
Exactly.
Rose, Dad.
Shout out to dads.
Shout out to the dads everywhere.
Well, I guarantee you, whatever his thermostat was, say he was a multimillionaire, before he leaves this earth, he'll be back there. Because it's a mindset. Once you get a perfect example, do you think Donald Trump, don't like politics, just talk about his wealth, he went bankrupt. On paper, he had nothing. Do you understand that? Then he rose back up from $1 billion to now is almost $5 billion, I think his net worth is. He can't go back to a millionaire. His thermostat is here. So anybody that's ever lost money and their thermostat was XYZ, they'll be able to get back there. It's like millionaires never lose out because they always know the roadmap to get back to where they was.
Okay, so what do you tell the people whose thermostat is low?
You got to start thinking differently because it is a mindset. It is, like we were talking about all the things, time management, all those different things. There's a bunch of programming language that's been programmed to you in your mind, your spirit, who you are as a person from your parents, from your surroundings, that you have to get over. And you have to recognize them. You got to recognize, well, did my parents say that money doesn't grow on trees? So I'm thinking, did we always talk about money in a negative way?
Did we always talk about how hard it was to pay the bills?
Do you see?
And so
if
maybe
that's all your kids hear,
if
that's all they hear, they don't hear nothing else.
All the fighting between mom and dad about the bills, and then
they're going to
go
get a
into
different
life.
perception about wealth.
And then you're gonna think, oh, that's normal to not be able to pay my bills. It's normal to live paycheck to paycheck, but it doesn't have to be.
Exactly. And my normal, so you look at my wife and me, my normal is I won't pay the bills on time. I'll always pay a month later because I need to hold on to all the money I got.
Oh, interesting.
My wife, boom, systematically, bill paid. I get paid, pay the bills. I get paid, pay the bills.
That's me too.
Do you see what I'm saying? But there's a different... So a lot of our clashing when it comes to finances is based on I live in necessity all the time and she lives on a normal plateau.
Right.
Because her parents always worked. They didn't have money, but they always worked. And money was not a subject in their house.
Yeah.
Right? There was no arguments. There was none of that stuff going on. Me, my mom, and my sister... We lived in shelters. We all my money since I was like 12 years old paid bills. So it's always been about necessity. It's always been like I got to hold on so tight.
Yeah.
And what I'm learning now in my maturity as I'm growing, I got to release that.
Well, and you can take that thought and kind of apply it to the things we've been talking about here too. Like apply it to the passion thing. You know,
100%.
If you grew up or if you had the mindset that like you have to work to pay the bills, right? Which of course we all know we have to work to pay our bills.
Yeah.
But there's also another reason to work, and that's because you like it. And those things can be, you can do them together. You can like it and pay the bills at the same time. But if you weren't taught, like you said, if if you didn't know that's an option.
The perfect example is, and I don't like to lean on this, as a crutch or anything, but it's true because I see it in a lot of people's lives. I didn't have a father. So who taught me how to hustle? Who taught me anything? As a man trying to make a living to support a family, there was no model for me to model. He wasn't there.
Yeah.
And all I see my mom do is struggle. So all I knew was struggle until I got on my own, right? And still struggle. I struggle today.
Yeah.
And it's feast and famine, and I'm trying to stay in feast mode, not famine mode, right? But as an entrepreneur, you have your ups and downs. But if you start to do what Jazz has said, your mission, your goals, time management, we put all this stuff together, then you're starting to create a recipe for success. But it has to be modeled. So you ask yourself, you do.
Otherwise, that's why your hustle's failing, which
exactly.
is our whole topic today.
100%. And so who are you modeling that's successful in that realm, and can you apply it to your life?
But then you also have to define, what do you view as successful and what do you view as failing?
Yeah, and I think the key word, what you just said, is what do you define
Your
as?
perception.
Yeah.
Some
what you
people
see.
don't see as not making money. That isn't necessarily failing. If you're still putting out, you know, good content, good ads, you're still going to places and you're meeting new people and making new connections, even though you haven't made new sales, you might not view that as failing because you're building this community, this network around what you're doing, and you see that as having value. Where other people might see that as failing because they just need that money. And so then you also have to define what your success is. Is success being surrounded by enormous piles of money, having a great happy family, not having to worry about everything? Or is success building this company that stands for something? Maybe it's not the most profitable company in the world, but maybe it's something that helps, you know, stop illegal harvesting for palm oil or something like that.
Yeah, all that stuff. Because even for me, you know, when I started Crypto Chats, my passion behind it was to learn, earn, and thrive. Learn how to invest in cryptocurrencies, in blockchain companies, right? Learn, and then you earn from it, right? So, and then you thrive. So in that area, in all those areas, it's like when I started getting hit, oh, we can't advertise here, we can't do this, and we're going back and forth and trying to find our path. Yeah, this is what I'm saying.
Existence.
Exactly, for all of us, right? And so the only thing that I could do is keep moving. You know, that's why I switched up and we started doing the creative. Yeah. I didn't want to do the creative. I was kind of like done doing websites, you know, except for ourselves, right?
Oh, I'm like pumped about it.
Me too.
Yeah, me too now. I'm excited about the way the movement's happening. We're picking up clients. We're growing. Things are happening. Plus, you know, you guys are getting good skills from all the meetings and all the trying to sell. And I got a sales next Friday. We're doing a sales training thing with Juan. So there's a lot of stuff that's going on right now that will help us move the puck forward and have the success we want right now, which will provide for the building, which will provide for the second or third launch of Blockspace.
Joe, being the most advanced and experienced entrepreneur among the three of us,
supposedly,
how do you define success right now? Like, let's just talk about the creative agency. How do you define success? I know you talk about, you know, being able to pay your employees well or being able to help the community, but what really is your success, like thermostat, as you like to say?
What would you, looking 3 months into the future, what would you see as successful?
$50,000 a month and 2 more employees.
So the first thing that you go to is money.
Yeah.
And you've already admitted that in the previous podcast.
It is.
That's how you see success.
Yeah.
And
because if I get to that place, then I know that I'm going to be able to have more freedom because I got income coming in, we're growing, and we're building relationships. Right now, for me being new to Oregon, my number one goal, my passion, is to meet as many people as I can, help as many people as I can, and educate people.
Okay. So here's a point that I want to make. So we've talked about money focus being like a bad thing and a reason why your hustle is failing. But if your goals are each money focused, that's gonna fail. But if your mission, if you have like you know, a quantifiable number that you're trying to reach, that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's good to have goals number wise. It's good to have all those things.
It just can't be the reason.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It can't be the reason why you're doing all
No,
of this.
because I realized that I'm responsible for the first time in my life. I'm fully 100% responsible for you two.
Yeah.
I'm responsible for Joe. I'm responsible to Juan. Those are big for me. That's all new. I've managed teams of 35, 60. I've done that for corporations, for other companies. But for myself, where I'm expected to make payroll, I'm expected to make sure that everybody's taken care of, that they're appreciated, that they're not treated wrong. You know, all the things that I had to go through working for people, right? Because I've been solo for 12 years and I love it. I love being a solopreneur, right? But I realize that I'm accountable to you guys. I'm accountable to Juan. I'm accountable to Nick. I'm accountable to the team. So for me, that's my number one goal now. It's exciting to be that because I've been having conversations with my father and I'm like, Lord, I need to understand this. These are areas that I haven't touched. I haven't pushed through these areas. You know, what's the best way? What's the do's? What's the not do's? You know, and how do you treat people? So right now, even though I'm taking a lot of small jobs and I'm doing all these things, it's really, I'm trying to leverage people, right? The more people that know about us and like us, they're going to get more clients.
On that note, maybe a more quantifiable goal and a better goal to measure your success maybe isn't $50,000 in 3 months, but maybe you need to set a quantifiable number of new connections you want to make. Maybe you want to
That's
make...
a good one.
Or both. I mean, it's cool.
both,
It's cool.
They're goals.
And
They're
you want to
goals.
make them attainable, because if you don't make your goals obtainable, you're going to feel like you're failing all the time. And then that is the quickest way to put out your passion.
But
Absolutely.
This is true. But on the flip side, the mindset, like there's a book called The Millionaire Mindset. You should read it, listen to it, whatever. But I have to put a value on it and believe I can reach it. Even though I don't reach it, right? I still have to go after it. I still have to have it as a goal. What's going on with you guys?
I'm sweating bullets over here.
Okay. I'm like, what's going on? The plane is falling.
Just trying to turn off the heater.
That was our goal right there. Was just trying to figure out how to turn off.
Without
And we
messing up the sound.
obtained it, and we feel successful.
You have a ton of success.
There we go.
We're
So,
super successful.
maybe we should
Am I
back it
answering
up.
it wrong?
No, you're doing it good. You're doing a
I'm
great
like
job.
thinking about it now. You guys got my brain moving.
That's
I'm like,
good.
because
Here to
no,
challenge
it's good.
you.
It is, because I didn't think of mission and goals the same. You know, I always put them in the same box.
Yeah.
I didn't separate them, and so I have to sit down and really say, what is your mission? Well, my passion, my mission is to help people.
Right.
My number
Good.
one.
Beautiful mission.
how?
Beautiful mission.
You need to-
and those
you
are the
need to-
goals.
This is the
Define
how.
it,
Guess
yeah.
what the how is?
How?
Using my creativity to be a blessing to them to help them grow. Mm-hmm. That's it.
Yeah.
You need to write it down, and it needs to be something that you remember.
I
every
remind
day.
myself.
You're not.
Yeah.
You're there to make the dollar, of course, but you
But
need
that
to know
will happen.
why you're making it.
From Tony Robbins, Gary Vaynerchuk, all the guys I listen to and mentor me, that's the thing. Don't go after the money, because you'll never get it.
Well, I'm serious. There's scientific proof that writing something down with your hand and a pencil or a pen on a piece of paper will not only ingrain that in your brain more, so you will just like start thinking about it more often, but it's going to give you more drive to actually accomplish that specific thing. So I suggest
sold.
to everyone.
I'm sold.
I suggest to everyone
Yeah.
to just write down, even if it's just like a plan. I know we have a special guest in the office right now, and she gets up way earlier than I do in the morning. Crazy
Well,
early.
You could just look at her and you can tell that she's a genius. you
Yeah,
know?
well, she is.
And so,
but one of the
yeah.
things she does is she makes a list every night about just her morning and what she, wants to put inside of her bag. And it's crazy to me sometimes because I wake up 5 minutes before I get in my car.
But every genius,
it works.
that's what I'm saying. It works because every genius, like even with, was it Einstein or one of them? I forget which guys were. They wore the same clothes every day. Okay, it was
Can't
clean.
Don't have time to pick clothes.
Yeah, they're just like they get the same outfit and they wear it.
It's efficient.
It's efficient, right? And so
Yeah.
And it makes them comfortable and makes them in their routine.
It
and
saves so much
whatever
time.
works for you.
Laundry, shopping, just all
They-
of that.
they
has to
say-
be
they
okay,
done.
say
maybe
the-
I'm going to do that.
Yeah. Well, the biggest thing that I get from listening to what you just said about her is that the AM thing. The earlier you get up, they say, the more success you'll have.
Yeah, she doesn't need to go to work until 9 in reality, but she wakes up at 6:30.
All right, I saw this
What?
meme the other day. That's gonna this is a great meme. I have it saved on my phone. So it says, like, what time do you wake up in the morning? And it says, like, 5 a.m. It says, awesome. 6 a.m. it says, great. 7 a.m. it says, good job. And then past 7 a.m. it just says, a waste of space to humanity. Like,
Harsh.
But truth.
and it's true.
Fact.
I shared it. I'm like, it's so true.
It's
I
fact.
wake up at 6 a.m. If I'm still in bed past 7 a.m., which never happens anymore, I just feel like I've already wasted my day. Like, why even get up? You need to get up and you need to conquer. Come on, you can sleep when
See,
you're
for
dead.
me, it's
Well-
like 9 a.m. and I literally cannot open my eyeballs.
I'm sorry, you're a waste of space.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
kidding.
and I'm teeter tottering on the same thing. So, I mean, my body naturally wakes up every morning at 6:30 to 7 o'clock, naturally, right? But I'll lay there until 7:30.
Yeah, at
and
least
if I
you're
have
awake.
but I am awake, and
You're
if I need to
thinking.
drive my son to school, then I have to be up by 7:30 and out the door.
Yeah.
Before 7:30 because he needs to be at 8.
See, Julie came in my room this morning. Very nice. She said, I made coffee. Can I do anything for you? And I was like, give me 5 minutes. And she just like left, and I laid there for another probably 15 minutes.
Yep.
It was crazy.
So it's just, you know, you got to get it is a habit.
It's time management.
Yep.
Here we are. We're just circling around. Back
Okay,
to
but
time
the thing is,
management.
I'm really good at time management. I mean, I'm slaying the time management game right now.
She's got her sword. She's
I mean,
taking out the time
I've got my
management
journal.
As long as
I've
she
got
got
my
her journal.
check boxes.
Yep.
I
She does
mean,
have an amazing journal, people.
Yes.
Like, it's handcrafted.
It's
It's not
beautiful.
store bought. It's incredible. It's incredible.
It's like color coded, and
amazing.
it's amazing.
But
It's amazing.
guys, that's the reason why women beat us. They beat us at every game.
True.
Just surrender, guys.
True, true.
Don't try to outdo a woman. They're
Nope.
more stronger. They're more smarter.
And more competitive, I
Yeah,
think.
they are.
yeah.
You know, I didn't know. You know, this is funny. Don't laugh at me, okay? It's
Okay.
going to be funny though.
Okay.
I did not know women had egos.
What?
Oh, remember? And we had that conversation when you hired me?
I think so. I
Yeah.
think we did, right? I think we did.
Because I was like, I have
Yeah.
more of an ego than
yeah,
you.
yeah, that's what I'm saying, because I did not realize that women had egos. I know guys, you know, we always have the, you know, contests and stuff, but I had no idea that women were that competitive to have egos.
Women are way more.
Oh, hell yeah. We're just
everything.
secretive about
That's
it.
what I'm saying.
It's like makeup, outfits, what your job is, what your major is.
I mean,
how
I'll
you're
just be
doing,
like-
your car. It's
Yeah.
everything.
Okay, I have a funny story. I'm going to leave the names out of this, but this
Please.
is just a woman ego thing, right? So, this person I know, she was like in class, and she saw this girl that she went to high school with, and they were like, they were just like in the same circle kind of idea, but like my friend was like a step below this other girl. You know how you're always just like
there's steps.
You know, yeah, like someone's just a little bit better than you
And
at
it just
everything.
aggravates
Like you
you.
do the same thing as them, like
But
you
they're
play the
better.
same sports, yeah, and they're just a little bit better, a little
Yeah.
bit better.
Yeah.
So she was like, she got up and walked out of the test like 1 minute before I did. And she was like, my mission for this term is to walk out of the classroom at the final before that chick. Like, that's the kind of egotistical thing
Oh, yeah.
women do.
I've totally done that. I've had to
Absolutely.
be like the first person to finish the test. Definitely, like to outdo this other girl I hated.
Yeah.
Or even other guys. It could be
For
it
no
could be
reason
either-
at all. It's just
No.
like, I don't want you to walk out of here before me.
Yeah,
Like,
I want to
really
be that
don't.
badass who stands up first and is like, I'm smarter than all of you, and then I probably got an actual like C on the test
Yeah, I
because
mean,
I did it too fast.
it's not
But
the right judge
it's
of
an
how well.
ego
Yep.
thing.
No.
It's an ego thing.
And ego gets you in trouble too. You know,
It does.
ego definitely gets you in trouble. I think that's like the, you know, the devil on your shoulder type deal.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it speaks that into your life. You could do better. You're better than that. You know, judging everything in your mind. You may not come out with it, but in your mind, you're looking at these people like, yeah.
And if you're running a company, like especially you with your mission, if you're running a company with an ego in front of everything else, you're gonna fail.
Yeah,
Oh, gosh.
and I can tell you, you know, it creeped up a little bit because we got our building, and half of our building I want to be for shared workspace, right?
Right, yeah.
But the guy that has the shared workspace in Corvallis partnered with Lebanon, and they have a new one coming up in June.
Ah,
So I'm like,
fudge.
I live here. I should have been that person. Why would you want to take somebody from somebody else? And I'm bringing more value.
Yeah.
Why not? And nope, it didn't happen. It was connections, right? Somebody
Yeah,
introduced
it's
somebody.
connections, yeah.
They got together with the management of the city, and boom, it happened.
Well, don't throw that out the window. The competition is still on.
No, I'm not throwing nothing out the window. I'm just saying that
good.
there was a piece of my heart that was like, like,
yeah.
what?
You wanted to get it before.
Yeah,
you wanted
I
to
did.
be the first one.
I did, and because I realize who I am and what I bring to the table. My value is going to be greater than his value,
Are you positive of that?
1,000%.
Good.
Because
should be.
I have a love for my community, and I want to, you know, I really want to be that person.
What is the name of your community? Say it.
Huh?
Say the L word of this town.
Lebanon?
Oh, he says it correctly. You can live here.
Lebanon.
I said
Lebanon.
It, yeah, I said it.
No, it is
incorrectly.
Lebanon, but they say it Lebanon.
No, I said it
Lebanon.
wrong over the radio, and then I got harassment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
No,
It was
Albany.
insane.
Albany.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They said the same thing
Albany.
to me. Albany.
Albany.
Like it's, you know, the East Coast
yeah.
Albany. That's where they're getting it from, Albany. You know, I didn't know. I'm new.
I think it's really funny because I'm born and raised in Oregon, so I pretty much know like everywhere in Oregon,
Yep.
or at least how to pronounce it. And you were always like saying stuff like "Where's?" I don't know. I think you asked Bend, but you like said it wrong or something. Like "Where's that?" And I'm like, "What the hell are you talking about?" It's like not a city in Oregon, but then it was like right next to my hometown. I think
Yeah,
it's funny.
exactly.
So
maybe we should backpedal a little bit. We need to talk about we're talking about town names.
Remember, we're living fluid.
All right,
Fluid
so
life.
The whole overlying concept of this podcast, so we really want to make sure you guys got out of it, is why your hustle is failing. And these are some overlying broad topics that you really do need to narrow down for yourself. And maybe you have parts of it working and parts of it that's not. Maybe,
or maybe it's all working and you just feel like shit about it.
Yeah.
Can I say that?
Yeah.
Oh, you just feel like shit about it.
Exactly. There you go. So there could be other reasons why your hustle is failing, but these are definitely the most common. It's some of the reasons why our hustles are failing.
Or have failed
failed in the past. Maybe we're doing all right now. It depends if you guys are listening or not, I guess. How many listeners we're getting. But
Great point.
So our overlying concepts is that your hustle could be failing because you're money focused.
Yeah.
We've covered that multiple times. Yeah, number one.
Can't be money focused.
Number two is poor time management.
No clarity, big picture.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Clarity.
I think number 2 is her mission and then goals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got mission,
then time management.
goals, clarity. You need to have that end game kind of in mind. And, sometimes that's selling out to a big company. Maybe sometimes it's just, sitting in your dining room with a nice meal because you got enough money to do that. You just need to know what your end game is.
Yeah.
And you need to be driven forward by your mission.
Yeah.
And all of that is what's going to help you get your hustle going. And this is still talking about side hustles. Maybe you're so good at your side hustle that you can turn into your full-time hustle like we were kind of talking about. That happens to a lot of people. But in order to do that, for your hustle not to fail in the early stages, you've got to have all of this behind it. You need to know where you're going. You need to have a reason that you're doing it. And you need to have a time. Because if you're just like, hey, I'm going to write this children's book. And then you start. And then you don't finish it for 3 years. What was the point?
Yeah. That's another great point. I mean, when it comes to time management.
Set
deadlines
Yeah,
for
I'm
yourself.
terrible with deadlines.
Set deadlines
If you don't meet it, you gotta either just give it up. You gotta say, I'm not good enough to do this, or you're not good enough. You're just not
capacity.
right for it right now.
Yeah, you just don't have the capacity for
Another
it.
tip that I might give is when you're setting missions and goals, set rewards for yourself.
Ooh,
You know,
cupcakes.
I have right now
Fun
a goal
socks.
with my friend that I want to get a 3.5 or higher GPA this term, which so far so good.
Okay.
But anyway, we said that we're gonna both, if we do that, we will treat each other to a really nice meal. So if I get a 3.5, I get a really nice meal with one of my best friends, and if she does it, then I'll pay for hers. And
See, and then you can do that for every little
Every
step.
little
and it can be
thing.
it doesn't have to be a nice expensive meal. Like for my boyfriend, if he cooks dinner and he doesn't mess it up, he gets like a shoulder rub,
Yeah, no, sure.
It's
Yeah,
a
you gotta
goal.
train them. That's training.
Oh, you do have to train men. This is a whole other topic.
That is we'll talk about that another day when it's just you and I, Rowan.
But you do have to train men, and men are trainable.
Oh,
Believe
yeah, they
it.
are.
It takes a long time, but you can do it.
I've heard.
You can craft the perfect man. It's probably going to take 40 years, but it's
You
possible.
can't do it if your man was raised by his mama. You can't do it.
Stay away from mama's
See,
boy.
but
Yeah.
the thing is, you're being trained by us every day.
No, I
You
know
are.
women
You really
because
are.
because I honor women. I allow women to speak into my life. That's it. You know, some guys don't even want to hear from women. They're like, you don't know Jack. Shut up.
Oh God.
You know, and I hate guys that way, but I'm not raised that way. So for me, it's like I'm willing to take wisdom from a babe. That's my reality. If you say something and it rings, it rings. If it don't, it don't. It just washes away. It's not learning. You
Sure,
know what
but
I'm
that
saying?
doesn't have to do with the person that's saying
No,
it, whether or
no.
not they're a girl or a boy.
It shouldn't matter.
But that's the reason
Yeah.
why I want to give the spoiler alert, but I can't because you guys ain't seen the movie yet. But there's a scene in the movie.
Oh gosh, you better be careful.
I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say
You've
it.
seen the
we
movie.
all know.
I haven't seen the movie.
But there's one
We're talking
scene-
about Endgame.
Yes.
Anyone out there?
Yeah.
Yes. So close your
movie.
eyes. But anyways,
Close your eyes.
yeah. There's just two scenes in there that got a reaction from some people and other people no reaction.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
And so for me, I looked at that and I'm like, why? In my mind,
because that was normal in your head.
for me,
Yeah,
it's normal.
yeah.
But for
Yeah.
other guys, it's not normal.
And also
then
for ladies.
They didn't speak up. They didn't do their thing. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
It didn't happen. And I'm sitting there saying, like, more people jumped up when Spider-Man came in. And I'm like, for real?
Can't say that.
Yeah,
But I'm
come
just
on,
saying,
you're
just one
spoiling
thing.
me
I'm
over
not spoiling
here.
nothing.
Yeah.
I'm
I'll
just
beat
saying
you up.
that.
No,
that-
I get what you're
but
saying.
you get exactly what I'm saying.
But
right?
I've seen it, so
So
if,
you understand me.
anyone
if
out
you're
there
listening
who's
to this,
seen Endgame,
yeah, then you know what we're talking about. And if you
We're not
haven't
going to
seen
mention it, but
you don't know.
it just it made me think differently. It was like, wow, why didn't that happen? Why didn't people react this way?
See, when I was watching it, my people, the ladies of the world, I guess, were like, whoa!
Because I think because you guys, I'm not going to say the word, but the M word, it's just different for you guys. Millennials, I was going to say.
Like the M
I
word.
was
Yeah.
thinking real hard.
I thought you were going to say
Yeah.
men. I was okay, I'm
Millennials.
down.
No, millennials.
Okay.
You guys think differently, so you're being trained differently. But there was people in the audience that were probably with their man and just was quiet.
Ugh, cringe.
Because they feel that that's their position in life. And I'm like,
Cringe.
why would you allow... You're victorious in everything you do if you believe.
Yeah.
So
And that's not just like if you're a lady. That's,
No, it's man or
if
women,
you're
anybody.
a man.
Anybody.
Yeah, like,
Stand up. Come on.
I guess that's another conversation too.
It's a whole,
It is.
we're
So
get-
to wrap it up,
yeah, side
let's wrap it
tangent
up.
on Endgame there, guys.
We won't
But
go there.
We're gonna wrap this podcast.
I'd like to check in with our last week topics.
Oh yes,
Yeah,
that's so
yeah,
right.
yeah.
We're all supposed to do something fun, right?
For ourselves.
For ourselves. So,
Joe, let's start with you.
what did you do for yourself?
I created a new brand.
Well, no.
No, that's not for
You
yourself.
were going to go get shaven up.
Yeah,
I
and
did.
treat yourself.
I
There you
did.
go. See, that's
I
what it
do
was.
that every 2 weeks. I go get my cut and shave. I like it when somebody else shaves me. That's my pampering to myself. And next, I got to go get my toes done. So I like pedicures. I like to keep.
He was raised by a woman.
Yeah, I like my soft skin. And
Yeah.
I look at all the older gentlemen around me, and I'm like, they didn't take care of their skin. And I'm like, dude, I don't want to be.
This is a weird little tangent we're going on.
It is, but it's okay. That's what I'm saying. It's fluid. You brought it up from last week. I'm like, that's how
Yeah,
it is.
And Joe is speaking on behalf of Dove Men's Care.
You know what I'm saying?
And
Brought
this
to you by
podcast, yeah.
this is brought to you by Dove.
All right, Jasmine, what did you say you were going to do for fun last week?
I
Wasn't
said
it?
I was going to draw my book
That's
cover.
right.
That's right.
How
Did you
that
get it
go?
done?
No.
No.
See?
Well,
I did not.
you do something nice for
Yes,
yourself?
I made myself overalls.
Yes, and they're so cute, everyone
They
out there.
look like Carhartt overalls, but in reality, I just made them from 2 pairs of men's jeans I got from Goodwill.
Dope.
nice.
That's
Didn't
what I'm
they
saying.
Pretty
have the
sick.
little
Check me
chocolate
out,
tag?
Jazzy_V on Instagram. You can see my overalls.
That's
right
what I'm
there.
saying.
They're
That
very
that could
cute.
turn into a passion that could give you your freedom.
Yeah, actually, speaking of that, I'd like to just talk about this for just a second. It is hustle oriented. So I was asked recently by the members of the theater club to help with costumes because we went to that event and I said, hey, I made my own overalls. And they were like, oh my gosh, will you make costumes?
Yeah, the points for profit thing.
Right, yeah. It was really sick. But then I was thinking, oh, this is a thing I do for fun and for like de-stressing for myself.
Yeah,
I don't know if I
ruins
want
it.
to add a stressor on top of it. So, there is something to be said of like doing what you're passionate for, but not
The key word is boundaries.
right, yeah. And so
You
like
know.
that's where I just put a boundary on there. Like
You
I don't
don't
want
wanna
someone
ruin,
else
yeah.
like if I were to start some sort of like line or YouTube channel or something like that about clothes, I would still be doing it myself and I'd have complete control over it, so it wouldn't be a stressor. But having something where other people are telling me, you need to get this
This
done,
to
this,
that.
this,
Yeah,
this,
yeah, yeah.
that's
Oh,
going
it's
to take
not-
away from the passion.
Yeah,
right
it's
there.
going to take away from the fun from it and the
Yeah.
creativity of it all.
Yeah.
But the other side of that is to be human is to serve.
Yeah.
So where else are you serving in your life?
Show up here every day.
Oh, snap. Come on. I'm talking
I was
about...
thinking the same.
Oh, my gosh. You guys are terrible.
All right, Rowan, what did you do for yourself?
I have no idea what I said last week. That was a really long time ago.
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Remember it
I don't
2 days
remember
ago.
what you said either.
I
But
have no
just
clue.
remember, guys, with your side hustles and with your life, just remember to put in, 5-10% of serving
Oh,
somebody. or
wait, I
something.
got it. I bought a chocolate bar.
There you go.
I don't usually
There
get
you
chocolate
go.
anymore because I had a chocolate addiction, which will ruin your bank account, especially when you get those nice, like, $5 chocolate.
And especially
Oh.
like 1 week out of the month where like the spending just gets exacerbated, right?
Yes, exactly. So then I bought myself one of those beautiful chocolate bars from the organic section, and I was in pure heaven with
Did
a
you-
cup of tea. Yeah.
Oh, amazing.
That was amazing.
I'm so glad for you.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, Thanks for listening. Thanks for
guys.
checking in on your hustle with us this week, guys. It's always a pleasure having you hear us, I think.
Yeah, and this was our official 3rd episode, right?
Yep.
The How
Number
to
3.
Hustle podcast brought to you by Blockspace.
Yep.
I'm Rowan.
I'm Jasmine.
I'm Joe the Boss, baby.
And
We'll see you
guys
next week.
Welcome to the How to Hustle podcast, brought to you by Blockspace, your creative agency. That's BLOXSPACE.co. That's BLOXSPACE.co. Blockspace.